move on to the house of inspired manifestation. It's just the 10th house, and it applies to you if you are Cancer rising. If Cancer is on your first house, that means that Aries is on your 10th house, and that means that Saturn is now entering your 10th house. And I just want to say that I call this the house of inspired manifestation, and that is because I have downloaded this system, the star number system, during meditation over 3 years. And part of the system is actually a new way of interpreting each of the houses in the 12 astrological houses, and they are a little bit different from traditional astrology. So if you're curious about how the star number system sees each of the houses, then I have created a PDF. You can get that for free by signing up for my newsletter, and there's a link in the description in the channel description. Yeah, and if you're curious about the star number system itself, then I have created a video that you can see about that. So the 10th house in the star number system is the house of inspired manifestation, and this is where the invisible becomes visible. It is where inspiration takes form and ideas crystallize into reality. It is the number 10, and that is the fusion of 1, which is the sun, it's action, creation, light, and the 0, Pluto, the field of potential. And so it is basically the binary code of creation itself. It's the 1 and the 0, binary code there. And that is when action meets the infinite, and you take inspired action on something that you imagine that is not yet real, right? And so for you, Cancer rising, Aries is and has always been, of course, the natural tool for you on your 10th house. And that means that courage to say yes to an inspiration that comes your way, and then you also act on it, and you act on what is kind of inside you, what is wanting to come through and come out. And there's a directness about this Aries also. So it is about turning ideas into form without really hesitating. And that is, of course, how you manifest already. You are taking bold action, courage to just take action on your inspirations and be driven in relation to bringing things into reality. So your bold action, your action has always been bold, and your boldness is now going to take this real manifested form. And what is new here in this transit is the energy that is entering this arena of your life, which is Saturn. It's the area of structure, leadership, discipline, long-term growth, and your relationship with time itself is now entering this part of your life, you could say, this arena. So that means that over the coming years, this transit is bringing about a powerful focus on your career and public manifestation. And so the creations that you bring forward in this time is then meant to last because of the Saturn energy. It's building a legacy. It is taking the inspirations that has moved through you and giving them, not just taking action on them, but continuously taking action to the point where they become real, where they crystallize, where they take form, where they really... So you don't just take action, but you take continued action and really see it build up to something sustainable over time and solid. And so that means that maybe what is visible, what you visibly manifest into this world is about to be more serious and a more committed direction. So that could be that you take a leadership, a position in leadership, for instance. You show up in a different way. You take more responsibility. Maybe you start having a more public role, where people really see your manifestations come alive, because you take action on them. Like you're very consistent and persistent, and you're like compounding on what it is that you're doing. So Aries here is, of course, your tool that you always have available here. But so that it gives you this courage to say yes to things. But what Saturn adds is this long-term planning. It's some discipline. It's the patience to build it up over time and continuously do the work. And that's not just about that moment of inspiration where you're brave enough to act. It's about being brave enough to continuously act every day and actually creating a structure around it. And so whatever it is that you're now taking action on and bringing into reality, and manifesting into form, that is now going to start compounding, and you'll see it pay off. So then you have the Saturn in the Aries is the number 98 according to the star number system, and 9 plus 8 adds up to 17, and 17 adds up to 8, so 1 plus 7 is 8, and then you can say that number 17 is then part of the number 98, and that means that we have to kind of look at what that number holds of energy for us, because that is part of this energy that we're experiencing now. And 17 is the energy of inspired creation, and it's about your dreams and inner vision and bringing that into form through this bold, generous self-expression. So the number 7 represents the dreams and the vision, and the number 1 is self-expression and giving freely and continuously and abundantly of yourself. And so for your 10th house, this is kind of part of how you already operated, is inspiration becoming reality. And when you get Saturn coming into this area, then manifestation is not just something that happens in a single event. It's not just something you think of it and you take action and now it happens. No, it's more a sustained creation, and that is compounding over time. That means that it could become a body of work rather than a single event, a single delivery. So it's more like, let's say you're an author, and instead of just writing one book, you might write a series, or you become a known household name, for instance, rather than just somebody who wrote one book. And then we have the resulting energy of 8, which is when you start working with the Saturn in Aries energy, and you really nail it, how to approach structure and leadership and taking consistent action. When you start having that boldness in that way, then what happens is that you'll see this crystallization happen, and you're building something that is really real and visible, and also most likely becoming recognized for it. And so for instance, something that like this is the area of your life where other people can see what you're manifesting. So you can say your public role, your career, your legacy, it takes on the weight of something that has now been earned because you kept showing up. And that will in return give you the confidence, because you also show yourself that you keep showing up, and that will result in something real, and you can see what you're building and the world can see what you're building. And then I have an affirmation here at the end, and I will just read that out loud. So I welcome structure and long-term vision into what I bring to the world. I have always known how to say yes and act on inspiration. Now I let my inner vision shape the legacy I am building. I commit, I show the way, and I feel a deep clarity and confidence knowing my work is becoming real, visible, and meant to endure. That's it for you, Cancer rising. And then I just want to have the last word here is that just to remind you about this architecture of Saturn in Aries, is that Saturn is of course the area of this long-term building, structure and leadership, while Aries is the tool to apply to that area, and that is the tool of being courageous and persistent in taking action and having some passion and drive. And so then when you apply this passion and drive and being courageous to this structure building and to your leadership, then what you end up with is crystallization and clarity and confidence. And so your dreams are then ready to take form that is lasting, and you have the courage to give them shape, and the clarity and confidence will meet you on the other side. So I hope that is helpful for you, and like and subscribe if you will, and don't if you don't, and then I will maybe see you again. Thank you, bye. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Over the next many years, from 2025 to 2028, Saturn is moving through Aries, and I am going to talk to you today about how this transit affects each of you in according to your rising sign. Depending on where Aries sits in your chart, it will have an influence on your energy that Saturn has now moved into this area of your chart. But first, I can say that I'm talking from the star number system, which is my own system, it's not really my own, it's a system that I have received during meditation over the last about 3 years. And it's kind of like a new way of interpreting astrology and numerology and so on. It's like a mix of the two. So let me take you through this transit using this system that I have received. So I won't take the credit for it, actually. That's probably too much. So between 2025 and 2028, Saturn moves through Aries in the... Oh, let me just do this so I can better see. So between 2025 and 2028, Saturn moves through Aries. And in the star number system, Saturn is the area of life that holds your structure, your leadership, ambition, consistency, discipline, and long-term growth. And also, of course, overall, it's also your relationship with time. So this is where you build things that lasts, where you commit for the long haul, and where you become steady and dependable as a leader, so that and a leader that others can lean on. So this is Saturn, which is the number 8. And then Aries, I look at Aries as the tool that will be used in this area of life. So Aries as a tool carries the energy of the number 9, which is courage, determination, persistence, stamina, compassion, and unstoppable drive to show the way by doing. It is really truly an area of life where we have a lot of drive, but also where it's not by telling people what is right and what is wrong, but really showing by doing. And so Aries is a fire sign, you could say. So it is also about taking action and initiating. So it's brave and self-reliant and confident. And when you use Aries as a tool, you will then lead by example, and you will take action with purpose and on your purpose, and you will move forward with a conviction. So bringing these two energies together in the star number system, that brings about the number 98. So if we then follow this numerological journey, then 9 plus 8 is 17. And 17 we reduce again, because we can say 1 plus 7 is 8. And so the resulting energy is 8. And that takes us back to the kind of the Saturn energy itself. And that is the thing about being in Aries, that it kind of returns its original energy to itself, but it actually goes through another energy in the process. So it adds another element. And so that return to the number 8 then is resulting in what we can say is crystallization. It's things taking shape, it's clarity, it's becoming tough in a new way, because you've gone through kind of like a crystal. It takes a lot of pressure for a crystal to become a beautiful crystal, and in the same way we become tough when we go through things. And it is also about showing the way, inspiring others. It's about feeling confident, determined, and also it is highly connected. The number 8 is highly connected to being successful as well. So there is this intermediate number 17, and that is what makes number 98 so interesting, because it's not just that you have the area of life, the number 8, and then with this way of working with that, which is the 9. No, there's another energy in between, which is 17, before you actually get to the result. And 17 has therefore its own meaning in this journey from 9 to 8 to 8. And so 17 is the energy of inspired creation. So it's about bringing your dreams and inner vision into form through bold expression, self-expression, you could say. The intermediate number 17 has its own meaning along this journey from 9 to 8 and 98 to 8. And 17 is the energy of inspired creation. It's basically about bringing your dreams and inner vision into form through bold self-expression. So when you act with courage on this work that is, you can say, the work that you're doing, which is where you're in it for the long haul in a way. When you act with courage on that work, then because 8 is about taking steady, taking consistent action. It's about consistency and keep moving on something. It's like compounding, if you've ever heard of that. And so that is just putting in the work day in and day out. But when you act on courage with that, but also have this element of, you have to remember what is your dreams and what is your inner vision, at the same time as you have to also use your self-expression and truly put yourself into it, something that you're excited about. Then you're kind of bringing together this stretch where your dreams and visions are taking visible form, and they do that through this brave and persistent creation. So from there you then end up with the number 8 again, and that is, as I mentioned before, it's this crystallization and clarity, and also inner confidence. The confidence that you gain from taking the steps and daring to really be brave, and also putting yourself out there. And it also, in this case, daring to do it through your own, through putting yourself out there. So this is a powerful combination. And Saturn is really the area for this long-term building. It's about structure and leadership, while Aries is the tool of being courageous and being also persistent in the action. It kind of have a similarity there with Saturn, right? There is a persistence and determination in both the number 8 and 9. And then the resulting energy is that when you then do this right, when you kind of do what the energy is asking you to do, then you kind of bravely commit to building something real and show up day after day with this discipline. And also at the same time, you remember that it has to resonate with your dreams and wishes, and you have to in some way self-express. Then you will end up with this deep clarity and confidence. So that is, you could say, it's even like this way of having earned satisfaction, knowing that your work is taking shape over time, right? So you slowly see the progress. And so in this transit, when Saturn is in Aries, then that is then impacting everybody, because everybody has Aries somewhere in their chart, and Saturn is the energy that is then moving through these areas of our lives and brings in this energy and a collaboration between the Aries tool and the area of Saturn. And so we will all feel this shift towards courageous, disciplined building, and also towards leadership that steps forward and leads by example and demonstrate what is possible through consistent, brave action. So over these next 3 years, many people will feel that growing urge to commit to some long-term project, and something that actually truly matters, something that is grounded in a personal dream perhaps, or a personal vision even. And so bring something that truly matters about, right? Get it into 3D reality, not just having it as a dream in the ether forever. Maybe it's something that has been considered for a long time, but that you haven't really been daring to take action on. And now here comes this Aries energy and says, you have to be courageous. Now go do it. And put yourself out there in a way, right? And so then in that way, you will enable your dream to take a real, tangible, lasting shape, right? That's really what's in the mix over these next 3 years. So it's super exciting. It is really an exciting period and super, super cool with Saturn and Aries. So we can really move forward and on our dreams and wishes, you could say. So the key message then is of Saturn in Aries is through this star number system, that you are willing to commit with courage, and whatever it is that you're committing to with courage will then crystallize and take shape and come into being. So that is a super big promise, and that is of course something that you have to kind of bring with you now and feel like, oh wow, this is actually an amazing power. So what do I really want to commit to and be bold about, and what do I really want to see crystallize? If you could choose something specific in your life that in 3 years from now, and by the time Saturn leaves Aries, that you can see that you have made this dream real, what dream would that be? And then find the courage within yourself to go for it. That is really the message here. So being bold is not just about having the spark and having this idea and a good intention and I'll do it tomorrow. No, it's actually about being bold enough to take action today, and being bold enough to take action every day, so it becomes a structure you put in place for yourself and thereby crystallize it. So be brave enough to start and persistent enough to keep going. That is really what is gonna make your dreams come true over the next 3 years, and depending on when you listen to this, over the years to come. And this is, of course, an energy you will have with you forever, because you've been through this energy, so you'll know how to do it, how to be persistent and keep going. Okay, and then you have to trust that when you lead through a consistent, courageous action, that you will build something that is real and lasting. And that in that way, that is the cool thing about Aries, is that when you really use this idea of Aries, like when you use the energy of the 9, which is Aries, then you actually, you are showing the way. You do give others a permission slip to be just as cool as you. Okay, so so the formula is this. So Aries is 9 and Saturn is 8, and so that in the star number system, that is 98, which reduces to 17, which reduces to 8. And so the tool is the way you should act. If you bring out your toolbox, then this tool now is to be courageous, persistent, determined, and take action towards something that you're passionate about. And then in this area of life, you should do that in the area that is connected to your structure, your leadership, your discipline, long-term growth. And so when you do that, and also remember that in between, remember to put your dream into whatever it is you want to grow long-term. And then when you do that, then you will end up with something that is crystallized, it's clear, it's confident, it's real, it's tangible, and you are showing the way. All right, so in the coming sections, then we go through each of the houses, because it affects everybody a little bit differently depending on their rising sign. A rising sign, Aries, is always in your specific house. It doesn't change houses. Like let's say your Aries rising, then Aries is always going to be your first house. And so that's the tool you have available to maneuver with your first house, and then Pisces in your second house, for instance. So that is always the natural tool for that house setting, for your specific rising sign. But and remember that for that area of your life that we're going to go through now, then there's a fire and courage and directness in that arena of your life. So, and that is part of how you operate, or how you at least ought to operate, how you should operate. And so what is new, what is actually the only new thing for you now, is that the energy of Saturn is coming into this arena. And that means that suddenly this arena of your life is being presented with this Saturn energy, which is structure and discipline and long-term vision. But in the fact that it comes into the Aries part, it gives it lights up this energy that is different from when it goes into other areas, right? Saturn is not equal in all sign. It doesn't act in the same way in every sign it goes into, because it triggers something specific. And here, for instance, it triggers that you not only have the long-term vision of Saturn and the drive and passion and directness of Aries. No, the two combined gives this magical influence of 17, which is also about tapping into your dream and putting yourself out there, taking the stage a little bit, right? And yeah, so that is kind of what is going to be new in your specific area of your life in that way. So let's go through it. Let's start with Aries then. In the house